In this lecture, I will describe about cyclic stresses, fatigue design theory, and fatigue test. So first you see cyclic stresses. So cyclic stresses means the stresses are generated in a cyclic form. For example, so this one is your sample. First you put a tensile load, then released, then you give compressive stress, then release. So this is one type of cycle. Tensile release, compressive release. So it becomes a cycle. So generally there are three different stress time modes are possible. The stress can be axial, bending, or torsional in nature. So there are generally three modes. So mode 1 is known as reverse stress cycle. So mode 1 reverse stress cycle. So reverse stress cycle, how you can explain? Now the amplitude is symmetrical about a mean zero stress level, or you can say alternating from a maximum tensile stress to a minimum compressive stress of equal magnitude. So this one is your diagram of reverse stress cycle, or you put a y-axis. So this axis represent stress and put a x-axis. This represent time. So this one is your time axis, x-axis, y-axis is your stress axis. So 0. So according to definition, maximum tensile is to a minimum compressive stress. Though this one is your upper side means half cycle. This one is your another half cycle. This one is your tensile stress. This one is your compressive stress of equal magnitude. So this point is sigma max, and this point is known as sigma mean, and this is the variable stress sigma v, and the total is known as amplitude. So see the diagram. This one is your reverse stress cycle. Reverse stress cycle, completely reverse cycle means positive cycle must be equals to the negative cycle. So this is known as completely reverse cycle. So some examples you take for completely reverse cycle. One is bending load applied to a rotating shaft. So this one is your axles of the vehicle. So next one is your type 2 or mode 2 repeated stress cycle. So repeated stress refers to a stress varying from 0 to a maximum value of same nature, or you can say another form, the maximum and minimum are asymmetrical relative to 0 stress level. So similarly, so you draw this one is your y-axis represent stress, x-axis represent time. So this one is your mean sigma m, mean line. So from this point, so this one is your maximum and this one is your minimum, and again maximum, minimum. So see in this figure, so this one is your repeated stress cycle. So this point is your maximum and this one is your minimum, and total distance is your, or total variation is amplitude, and see dotted line is your mean. Mean means mean stress or average stress, that is maximum stress plus minimum stress divided by 2. This one is your mean or average stress. So you take one example for this. Cyclic load on a cantilever beam is repeated stress. Then type C or mode C, spectrum loading. Spectrum loading. So spectrum loading, the stress level vary randomly in amplitude and frequency. So see the figure. This one is your spectrum loading. Mean the amplitude vary randomly. The stress level vary randomly in amplitude and frequency. Example is, so there are two example. Example 1 and example 2. So first one is your suspension wires in a railroad bridge. So have you seen the railroad bridge? So in this bridge you are using the loading must be spectrum loading. And second one is your wire carry a bridge under static tension load. Then fluctuating stresses. So fluctuating stresses means there would be some fluctuations. The stresses which vary from minimum value to a maximum value of the same nature is known as fluctuating stresses. So you simple see, this one is your a cyclic stress diagram, and this one is your a cyclic nature. So this diagram is known as completely reverse. Means this one is your sigma max and this point is your sigma mean. This one is your sigma v, this one is your sigma v. So this side is tensile, this side is compressive. So this one is your complete reverse, and here the mean stress is 0. In completely reverse stress cycle, mean stress is 0. But whenever you take a static loading, so this one is your diagram of static loading, the mean stress is constant. So this one is your mean stress. In reverse complete, the mean stress is 0, but static loading, the mean stress is constant. When you combine complete reverse and static, you get the fluctuating diagram. Means you see, this one is your diagram. This line is in mean line sigma m. So upper one, lower one, upper one, lower one, upper one. Again, I'll draw this case. Sorry. This point is known as mean line sigma m. X axis shows time, y axis shows sigma means stress. Then you draw the line. So this point is known as sigma v, and this is also known as sigma v. So this distance is sigma mean, minimum stress, and this distance is your max, sigma max means maximum stress. So here sigma max is equals to how much? Sigma mean plus sigma variable. Sigma mean is equals to minimum stress, sigma mean minus sigma v. So this one is your mean line. So how you can get maximum? So this one is your maximum, that is sigma mean plus sigma max. Similarly, minimum stress sigma mean minus variable stress. All about different stress cycles. Next one is your fatigue design theory and fatigue test. So fatigue design theory and fatigue test. So to secure satisfactory fatigue life, you should take some important point so that you get your satisfactory fatigue life. Means you get the life of the material should be more. First one is you should avoid stress concentration. Avoid stress concentration. So how you can avoid avoiding the stress concentration factor or stress concentration? Now elimination of sharp recess, severe stress razor. Stress razor means that is circular section, scratch, nose section, or any type of rough type of surface in the material. So you should avoid that. So second point is your you should control of different operation for getting accurate surface finishing. For example, in rough machining, punching, stamping, shearing operation, you should taken care for this for getting accurate surface finish. Then third point is your control of corrosion and erosion or chemical attack in the surface to prevent surface decarbonisation during processing of the heat treatment. During heat treatment process, you should prevent of surface decarburization so that during the corrosion takes place. So you should avoid that. So fourth point is surface treatment of the metal. Then cumulative damage law. So cumulative damage law states that failure occur when sum of damage ratio at an unity means summation of small n and capital N must be equals to n. Small n is equals to number of cycles at stress actually perform. Capital N is average number of cycles to failure at the stress. So these are the cumulative damage law. Next one is different testing machines are there to test the fatigue. So how we can get accurate result? Now by application of or by using different testing machine, so you get the material is in safe condition or unsafe condition. So we are using different testing machine. One is your axial fatigue testing machine, one is your rotating bar bending fatigue testing machine, one is your torsion fatigue testing machine. Generally there are three torsion fatigue testing machines are used. So first one is your axial testing machine. So see there are two specimens which is used in axial testing machine. So this one is your actual figure. So in this case, this one is your schematic diagram of axial fatigue testing machine. So here K, this one is your connecting rod, G, this one is your spring, S in a specimen. So in this case, what happen? Now here, whenever the piston cylinder piston arrangement operate, then the spring will compress and expand at that time, give result and the give result at the specimen. Then second one is your rotating bar bending fatigue testing. So see there are three figures. First figure one is your single point loading, second point is your 2 point loading, third one is your 4 point. So single point it is a cantilever, so one is grip and a load acting at the end of the beam. Similarly there are in a 2 point loading, one is here and another is at the end of the beam. 4 point loading, so there are four loading points are there. So in this case, three types of test piece may be used for rotating bar testing machine or bar bending test. So the test piece may be loaded in any of three ways. Mean there are three ways of loading. So you can use any one of for testing of metal. So fatigue testing. So last one is a torsion fatigue testing. Torsion fatigue testing. So see the schematic arrangement. So this one is your schematic arrangement of the fatigue testing machine. So see the figure, this one is a schematic. So in this figure consists of several parts. One is your specimen, this one is your specimen, chalk, this one is your chalk, this one is your cam, this one is your jaw, D is your calibrated specimen, M is your dial gauge, F is your screw. F is your screw. So torsion in the specimen S. So this one is your specimen S. torsion in the specimen S is produced through a choke. So how we can get a torsion? Now by the help of choke A, by a variable through cam C. By the help of choke A and C, you get torsion at the specimen S. Then the torque is transmitted through the jaw J to the calibrated specimen D. The angle of twist of the specimen D is proportional to the twisting moment and is measured by the dial gauge M. By the help of dial gauge M, you calculate the twisting moment. So initial twisting moment on the bar D is applied by the screw F. So it is all about the testing machine. Thank you.